Where in your life are you saying yes too much? And how is it draining you? Let's figure out how to stop the cycle and take back your energy.
Welcome to the Boundary Talk.
Welcome
This
to the
is the
Boundary Talk.
podcast where you can improve the art of your boundaries so you can protect your time, you can protect your energy and live a fulfilling life and the life that really matters to yourself.
Sweet.
Right?
Sweet. I'm still learning to say it like he does, but I'll get there.
You will get at this
Yeah,
point,
yeah,
of
yeah.
course. So, what's the topic about today?
Yeah, the topic is how saying yes too much drains us. Right?
Yeah,
Basically.
in a way.
How
Yeah.
would you say? How would you call that topic?
I would say it's like boundaries in connection to burnout,
Yeah. Yeah, true that.
right?
Yeah.
So, draining in boundaries is a point of it, I would say. But we, like the last few episodes, we wrote some questions down and to ask each other from our own experiences or what we've learned through the time in the last few months with this topic. And yeah, let's go. Let's dig into it. I think I would start with like a beginning question for
Oh
this
my
topic.
God. I'm
So,
getting
okay.
nervous again.
Why do you think so many people struggle to say no even when they know it's leading to burnout?
Simply said, people pleasing.
Would you say that's the one topic
Yeah.
that's leading to burnout?
Well,
Consistently.
I've experienced a burnout myself.
Oh, okay.
At the age of 19, I've experienced my first burnout. Now, some of you might think, how can a young guy like this experience a burnout at this age? And
I thought exactly the same thing.
And I'll tell you what. And that's what I always tell to everyone who meets me. Age is just a number on a piece of paper. You can have lived a very intense life, even in the young years already. It all depends on how you grew up and what you've experienced up until this point. And for me, at the age of 19, I've experienced my first burnout. Now, I very simply said, it was people pleasing. Now, when I think back to this point where it happened, there was many situations leading up to that point where I felt burnout, where I couldn't go any further, where I really had to stop everything that I was doing. Let's dive a little bit into the story behind it. So, my mother always told me, you are such an intelligent person. You definitely have to go study. You have to go to college. Do this because otherwise you will waste your potential. And what did I want as a child more than anyone else now?
Attention and love from your mother.
Attention and love from my mother. So I grew up mostly without my dad. And so my mother, she played the father and the mother figure, which wasn't healthy, like some of you might think now. And so I really just wanted her respect and I wanted to be loved and her attention. So what did I do? I was a braver Junge. I was a braver Junge.
Oh man.
I was a kind guy. I was a kind kid, child, and so I went to college. I did what she wanted me to do, and I said yes to things I already felt deep down inside of me for years already that this was not the way that I was intended to go. But I did it for her. I did it for her attention, I did it for her love, and so there was a lot of these little experiences leading up to that point where when I was 19 and in the college and I've experienced the same bullshit that I've already experienced in my childhood, where I just felt deep down this school system is not built for me, not for the way how I function. Just because I'm hyper intelligent doesn't mean I don't have any other potential to be successful in life if I wouldn't go that way. So I knew there was a way for me and that this was not the way for me. But I did it because my mother told me and because I thought she might know better, right? So I was in college and I've experienced many injustices. And then this point came where I really couldn't believe anymore how unfair this whole school system was, because the teachers, they didn't they didn't judge me by my answers that I wrote down on the
Test
test
results.
Yeah, they didn't judge me by the actual test results I wrote down, but by how many times I stood up and I showed them what was unjust. So, one example is, I took my test and I took the test of the best kid in my class. I went to the teacher and I was like, hey, look at this answer and look at this answer. Why does he get the full point for the same answer that I wrote? And I get no points. Still can't believe this shit, man.
Okay, maybe the teacher thought you were cheating in the test.
No, I never cheated. I only
But
cheated.
that's an example. A lot of people know when two persons next.
No,
when
but
you're next to each
I
other-
never sat next to the most
Ah,
intelligent.
so it doesn't make
kid.
any sense.
It makes no sense. I cheated only once in school in my life, and I got caught instantly. And I felt so bad. I'm so bad at cheating. Really, I cannot cheat. I'm really bad at it, and it's okay because I like to be an honest person, to be honest. But I went with these injustices to the teacher, and I always confronted the teacher. Why the fuck don't I get the same amount of points for the same answers? I knew that my answer was right, and I compared the other tests with mine too, and I always did this. And the teachers, I got on their nerves. They were like, oh, not you again, just stay on your place. I'm the teacher. I'm the one who decides what note you will get, what test result you will get. And I was like, what the fuck is this? I'm in college. Is college above high school? I have no clue. Gymnasium. It's the
University, I don't know.
I have no clue. In Switzerland, it's just what you do. Oh, and I cannot translate it to your English school system. Anyway, I always confronted the teachers, and I've had to experience many of these injustices just because the teacher was offended by me showing their faults. And so at some point I couldn't hold it anymore, and it really burned me out. I couldn't believe that this could happen in a school system where one should be fair and one should be honest.
Should be is a big.
Should
one,
be. Yeah, should be. There's many should be's, but it's more shit be's. Be shits. So yeah, I've eventually got a burnout. Many of these experiences came together, and I really just.
How does that feel, that burnout? For example, give me an example of maybe the feeling in this
Okay.
situation, or the thoughts you had in this situation, because I know
Okay, yeah.
I know theoretically what's a burnout,
Yeah.
but I never heard about what's the
You never
thing.
experienced it.
Yeah, what's the experience through
Yeah,
the
okay.
burnout?
So-
When you want to share.
Yeah. So for me, it felt like a complete breakdown. A complete breakdown with myself, with my psyche, with the world, and I fell into this deep downward spiral of fuck, everything is against me, nothing is working out, or I'm in such a shithole, no one is helping me, all the world's unfair, and eventually all these thoughts that were running like they would go and kill someone else, they just killed myself. It really felt like all of my energy that I had during the day was only used against myself. From myself against myself. No, that's what I know afterwards. But it felt like all the world was against me. And
Can I ask you something?
yeah,
Would you say it's a burnout or more
a depression.
a depression? It sounds like a depression to me, because that's
Yeah.
these symptoms you've had. Then I had these too in my experiences in my past. So
Yeah, okay, let me make a distinction here. So,
yeah, of course.
yes, there is these symptoms of depression in a burnout. For me it was. Because it accumulated together.
Accumulated.
Together. Now, here comes the burnout aspect. So I was always trying to do better. I was always trying to prove my worth. to prove that I was right. I was always doing more and more and more and more, and it never felt like what I was doing was enough. And this doing more and more and more when my energy was long ago depleted already, that was what brought myself into this burnout. So burning out is really, there's no energy left. There's just this crazy fucking downward spiral.
Only against you.
This, aufgeben,
Giving up.
So I had to give up completely because I couldn't go any other day into that school to go through that same shit again. And that's where I took a decision. I went to the director of the school and I told him I cannot do this any longer. I never did it for myself. That's when I had a big realization this day. I told him I cannot do this any more days longer because I just realized I never did it for myself. I'm just burning out. I really get crazy and mad here. And if I do this longer, I will just get super sick because my body was showing all the symptoms already of having a burnout. So basically what happens as well is, since I was ignoring all these symptoms,
warning signals,
warning signals, I just got sicker and sicker and sicker.
Were they exceptional, the director, about your decision?
Well, he was like, oh, you cannot do it like that. And then I was like, oh, you teach me in school how to do it. So I went down to the cafeteria. I took a serviette, what you would use to clean your mouth after eating. Oh God, I don't know the word. Was it a serviette?
The paper you need to dry your mouth for eating, I don't know.
To clean the hands. I took one of those, I took a pencil and I wrote down, from this moment on I am officially gone on this school.
You have to write a contract.
Like an official contract. Official contract with date, with place. And I wrote it down in the cafeteria on this little towel, on a little mini
paper towel.
Yeah. So I wrote it down, I signed it, I went back to him after he told me, oh, you cannot do it like that. And I was like, that's how I can do it. Here it's official. And he was like, yes, it's correct, but are you sure? And I was like, I'm gone, fuck that, because I had so many moments where I had to go talk to him because the teacher was like, you go to the director. And I was like, what did I fucking do, man? And I always approached my school director and I told him, can't you do something? Because I showed him the same injustices. And he was like, yeah, I know, you're right, but it's the teacher that decides. And I'm like, what the fuck?
Who is the director?
Yeah.
Shouldn't he have the force to change something?
Yes, that's what I thought too.
Because it's like a hierarchy.
Yeah, hierarchy.
Hierarchy, right? In the school system, everywhere it's like this.
Man. Yeah,
could change something.
Right, should be. I thought that too, and I experienced that in 3 schools. The same with school directors, with teachers, with injustices, and all these accumulated to eventually being in a burnout.
Was he scared from your teacher?
No, he was like, "Oh, it's in their responsibility. It's their."
So he doesn't give a fuck about you.
Yeah, he didn't give a fuck, man. I mean, he even was in midlight. He felt my sadness and he took me to the cafeteria. We drank coffee together. We ate snacks together because he was like, that's really unfair, but I cannot do anything. So fuck that.
Deep empathy for you.
Yeah, he had deep empathy, but he didn't change shit, man.
So he doesn't
just accepted
take the action steps or something. Nothing.
No.
Oh man.
And I was like, wow, and even the director can't change shit. At this level of school.
I swear.
At this fucking level of
crazy,
school.
man.
In Switzerland we call it a gymnasium or college. Like le college. my
College.
College, yeah. So even at this level there's so many injustices. I was like, fuck the school system. I will never ever again do this. I went home, I told my mother I just quit school. And she was like, no. And that gave me the final blow for my burnout. After this, I went into my room for 3 months. I didn't come out during the day, only in the night. And in these 3 months, I was in a very, very dark space. And I reflected about my whole life. and I wrote down everything that I was holding on to, all the anger, all the frustration, all the unfair situations I've went through in my childhood, all the injustices. I wrote it mostly, well, not everything, to be honest, but I wrote most of it down, and then I looked at my life in an honest way, in a very broken down place, and I was like, fuck. It's me holding on to that anger. It's me holding on to that frustration, to that guilt, to all the drama, to all the shit. Because the ones that gave no shit on me, they were in a happier place than me. And so eventually I realized, if I will not let it go, I'm the one holding the burning ashes and stones in my hand. There's a nice saying of Buddha. If you are angry because someone did something to you, and you stay angry, it's like holding a burning piece of melting rock in your hand, and you are the one holding on to. I was the one holding on to all those burning stones that burned only myself. And so I realized, fuck, I have to let go. I have to let go of my past. I have to move forward.
How did that feel for you when you finally could let it go?
So first of all, it took a lot of courage to go into these situations that I had to go through. So because I really needed to forgive certain people in my life.
Personally? Or
Personally,
just
no,
in your
personally.
head?
I knew that if I was just doing it in my head, I could never really let it go. So I had to face these people that took my childhood. That's what I told myself. They took my childhood. Yeah, because
it's a really brave move.
yes, I know, but I knew it was needed, and I couldn't move forward if I wouldn't face these people. Because even after everything that happened, it made me strong as fuck. It made me resilient. I got so much resilience. I got a lot of benefits out of all these dark parts in my life. I grew so much, even though my life was in the shittiest holes at this time, because I've went through deeper phases as well. But it gave me the strength to really survive whatever comes at me. You can throw your mud at me and I'll just laugh and be like, yeah, it's bullshit. I know how you feel, and I know where you're at, that you have the need to do something like that to someone else. I would never put my shit on someone else like that, because I know how it feels like, and that's why I have a very deep empathy. But that's also why this boundary topping is so important for me. Because of this deep empathy that grew out of it, I lacked I lacked a lot of boundaries. I never learned how to set boundaries. And that's why I attracted, I hope no one of my ex-girlfriends will hear this. Well, not those at least.
Are they still in your life?
No.
So, who cares?
Yeah, yeah, true that. But I mean, I attracted a lot of crazy girlfriends because of that. Because I had this deep empathy and I could heal everyone through their shit. But that was me holding on to the shit of others, because I thought, no, I am the healer. I have to help others
Because you could.
Because I could, exactly. So yeah, but I faced those persons that took my childhood, and I went up to their face, and I looked deep into their eyes, and I was like, thank you. I forgive you for what you have done to me. It was shit, but you didn't know better, and thanks to you, I grew so much.
I'm getting goosebumps, man. Wow.
So I told that to their faces, and I really waited at the bus stations where they would come home from work. I've searched those persons, and there were just two persons I couldn't find, and then I was like, okay, now I also just have to let go of that, because after doing this 7 to 8 times with 7-8 people, I felt this huge release, and finally my life was moving forward. And from that point on, I just took full self-responsibility, and I did whatever I could to go my own way. And from there on, my whole life changed.
Wow.
Sorry, it took a bit longer.
It's okay.
That's
I have one more question for you.
Yeah.
You said in this 3 months you closed yourself in your room and reflect on your whole life. You said it took encouragement,
A lot of courage, yeah.
a lot of courage. What else was the reason for that you took the action steps? Because I know from myself and from a lot of people that when they have some phases in their lives, they close their self in rooms, they do nothing. They doesn't reflect. They don't look at their own life. They maybe just watch Netflix the whole time and do nothing and stay at the same point. What was the spark? From where came this spark you want to reflect your life?
Yeah, okay.
That's really interesting.
Yeah, okay, that is really interesting. Never ever in my life someone asked me this question at this point. That's interesting. So for me, when I came home and I told my mother that I quit school and I saw how disappointed she was in me, I felt like I was the biggest failure in all of existence. I felt so bad about myself, about the world, about everything, and I was so sad. I was so sad, frustrated, angry, mad at myself. And I knew from reading books and studying psychology from the age of 10 on, that basically the reason why I've experienced these situations again and again and again and again and again, that it was me. After experiencing the same situation, these injustices with teachers, for an example, or mobbing from schoolmates, over and over again, that if I would experience this in another scene with other people, then this was myself not having learned the lessons behind those situations. And because I knew that deep down, I was like, fuck, it's on me.
So you're not even just learned it and read it, you also internalized it.
I internalized. I already integrated the knowing, because I've observed my whole life. But it was so hard looking at these situations where all my feelings were like, this is the most unfair shit. How can someone experience something like that at this age and his whole childhood? It was so unfair, and it was so hard looking at these aspects in my life and asking myself, where in all of these situations am I the cause to this effect that I have to repeat it again and again and again?
What was your answer from this question?
It was deep down stored anger, frustration, and guilt. These three emotions. But especially the anger at the schoolmates that made my childhood so bad.
Was it anger, or was the anger just a cover up from more deep down emotions like
Okay, no, anger is really the soft version of the actual feeling, which I would call rage. There was this huge rage in myself about unfairness, about injustice, and deep down repressed emotions that I just didn't want to feel.
So because, like hurt?
Yeah, very hurt. But the thing is, at the age of 14, when I had a near-death experience, and I came back and I've started to read not only books about psychology, but now about the law of attraction, and more about the spiritual aspects, about the universal laws, from the age of 14 on, and about positive thinking. Oh man, I read so much about positive thinking as a kid that had only dark thoughts inside because of all these experiences. That I repressed all the negative thoughts, and I read, whenever there is a negative thought, just put a positive thought over it. Just negate, just ignore the negative and just stay the positive thought. And I was like, yeah, great, let's do this. So I've built up this fake positivity in a big way, in a
Isn't it like self-sabotaging?
Yeah,
In
definitely.
a big way.
It is self-sabotaging in a big way, but you know the crazy part about it is that whenever someone met me in the outside world, they were always, "Wow, you are so positive. You are always so positive, even though you experience all that shit. You are so positive. That's so great. That's so."
So you played your role very good.
I played my role so good, and I hid all my feelings. I hid all my true emotions. I put them deep down in a box where I would never ever see them again. And the crazy part is, between the age of 14 and 19, I had a complete memory wipe. It took me from the age of 19 to 22 to actually get all the memories back what happened in this time frame.
Because of that.
Yeah. Because I put it down so deep and I lied to myself all the time with all the fake positive bullshit. It was like amnesia. I had an amnesia.
Crazy.
That was crazy, man. When someone asked me, "Yo, how was your childhood?" I was like, I have
That's
no
a safe
idea.
system from your brain.
Yes, it was a safe system, definitely. But that's why I said at the age of 19 I had a burnout. Because even though I couldn't access these repressed emotions, my whole world broke down multiple times already. And I just knew, fuck, I'm repeating the same shit over and over again. Even though I have all these positive thoughts and, oh, everything is so great.
It means absolutely nothing.
Yeah, no. I just experienced shit, and instead of stating this is bullshit, I was like, oh, that's so great, because now I learned this out of that. So whenever someone would throw mud at me, I was like, oh, thank you so much for this mud. Now I can play with the mud. That's so crazy, man. It's actually really sick, a really sick behavior.
I would say when someone from really deep internal have really this persona from optimism and good thought patterns, then it's something good.
Yeah.
This positive thinking.
Yeah.
Then it works. Then it's
authentic.
Authentic, exactly.
Yeah.
But when it's the opposite inside of you, then it's just like a big wall you build in front of you.
It's a mask.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just a charade. It's a facade.
You know the movie The Mask with Jim Carrey?
Yeah.
The green one?
Yeah.
It's exactly like this.
Yeah. Yeah, so it was really crazy. I had this alternate ego.
Yeah.
I had this second persona, basically. And in the outside world, I was always this happy, positive guy, even though I've only experienced shit, more or less. And inside, I was this dark, sad, frustrated, raging kid that had such dark thoughts. There was a deep wish inside myself to kill unjust people. And I knew I was so feared about this part that I was like, oh, I will never want to actually experience, because in German there's a saying, wenn das Fass am Überlaufen ist, irgendwann überläuft das Fass. So basically this, I don't know how you would call it. Can you please point at this Fass? That's the Fass. That's a Fass. And basically there's like liquid inside, and the liquid is all the stored emotions. And there comes a point in life when this liquid starts to overflow, this vessel
Tank.
here, this tank.
No, tank is...
This tank, yeah, it wasn't just a glass, it wasn't just a cup. It was a big tank already, and it was overflowing like crazy. And I was always feared what would happen when my big tank was overflowing, and not just overflowing, but was overthrowing. And eventually I had one or two experiences where this happened, and man, that was scary. I was so scared about myself that I was even more scared to go deep down and really dig out shit, even though I knew I needed to do this one day. So yeah, it was a crazy burnout experience, and I had the drive to go through it because I realized that it was me holding on to the burning rocks, and I had to let go. And after I knew, fuck, it's all the resentment, it's all the past judgment that I was carrying with me, and I need to let go of that weight to keep going, to move forward, to actually really change my life. And I was too curious to stay there. I wanted to see how life can be.
To grow.
To grow.
Right.
I wanted to see how it can be. Not like that. I wanted to see, is it possible for someone who grows up in pure darkness to get into the light? And now I can tell you, yes, it is. Now I can not only tell you, now I can show you. And that's a great gift. But it was a long way, and I took a lot of our speaking time now. I'm sorry, brother.
You're still at the beginning, man. But
Fuck
it
that.
was already a long time, but you're still at the beginning, man.
Yes, I know.
So I'm really excited about what's in front of us,
Wow.
what's coming at us,
Can
at
I
you.
Oh my
So-
goodness. Can I also ask you questions? Because I also prepared some questions.
Yes, if you want to.
Yes, of course, because I know I can learn more when I listen. That's why I love to ask you questions.
Me
Are you
too.
ready, brother?
I'm ready, brother.
You really ready? Strap down. Strap yourself down. Hold yourself, people. Okay.
A roller coaster. Let's go.
Okay. So, I just have to say this before I ask the questions. Basically, all this burnout shit was because I said yes to too many stuff that wasn't mine. Okay, that's why I asked this question.
It's
now.
really simple to say.
Yeah, it's really simple.
So
Actually.
yeah, that's a burnout. That's leading to burnout. But what's happening in this
Yeah.
moment is.
Yes, it's overflowing bullshit.
Yeah.
But I was just saying yes to everything in the outside to keep up the facade of
Mm.
being this happy, positive guy. And that's why I wrote down this question.
Mhm.
When was the moment you realized that constantly saying yes wasn't generosity but self-betrayal?
When I was in the psychiatry for 2 months.
Oh wow.
Then I had because of my psychologist, which I had then for 2 months,
Mm-hmm.
she gave me such a lot of knowledge for myself to reflect on myself, but also to focus my thoughts where I can put them in which area.
Mhm.
Not every thought of one of the same. So in this 2 months, I realized, okay, man, in my whole poverty, in my whole school time,
Mhm.
I most of the time said yes to others, but not to myself. But for me, it wasn't my parents, like in your example. For me, I was really a rebellious kid.
Oh, okay.
Really rebellious, because everything my parents said to me, I was like, who are you that you can say something like this to me? I'm doing
Wow.
my shit,
Wow.
not yours. And I was
so
I
amazing.
was like
Cursing?
cussing, yeah, to my parents.
Oh, okay.
So I said really bad things to my parents
Oh, wow.
in front of them, because I was like, no.
Really?
Yeah, I
Wow.
was really rebellious.
It was like a total opposite of my story, basically. Now
It's crazy,
that's
right?
interesting. And
Yes,
you're
but-
one of my best buddies.
Yeah,
so,
that's
that's
crazy.
so interesting. man.
Yes.
I love it.
And on the
So-
other side, I was like this person to my parents, but on the other side, I was the biggest people pleaser to my friends. Because I've learned through social experiences through the school time, I've learned, okay, when I'm like these kind of persons, I have friends, I get to girls maybe, I get the attention from other people. So I was the people pleaser there.
Wow.
So in my role as a friend in the friend group, I was the person who adapt some kind of behaviors, some kind of belief systems also,
Wow.
some kind of also my dressing style, my walk style. I really adapted to
So you
my
copied?
best friend. Yeah, I copied literally
Ah,
to
that's
my best
interesting.
friend at this time. So I was. Yeah, and through this time, then after I was in the psychiatry, then I've learned, okay, man, who I am, really.
Wow.
Who I am. Because I just realized I was literally the copy of my best friend at this time,
Wow.
but only in an aspect of myself. But this little aspect of myself was so small, I didn't even notice it.
Wow.
So I had to first let go all the shit I put on myself
Wow.
from my best friend at this time, and search the aspects of myself who the part of my real identity.
Wow. that's deep.
Yeah, it was really deep. So
Still is.
yeah,
No, for
still.
me that's deep. because I just see we are like there's a big difference between how we grew up and between your experience and mine, and I just see that's interesting because I was always the kid never following what others wanted me to do in the outside. I was never the people pleaser in the outside, but in my family. And that's why I had no friends in the outside, because I always had my own opinion. I would always do what I thought was right for me, even though I was going alone. And for you, it was the opposite way. That's interesting. And I would never, I couldn't speak like that to my parents. Because I was like, I thought, I mean, at least family would understand or get me or be like friends to me, but not even that.
Can I explain to you? I think, meanwhile, I know why I was that rebellious.
Yeah, please.
You once said in a podcast episode you grew up with parents who had really rush boundaries to you in an aggressive way, right?
Well, the father, yes.
The father, right?
Yeah.
In my family, the boundaries I've learned, they were never really strict.
Oh, so never
So
follow
they-
through.
Exactly.
Okay.
So I always had a point I can overstep their boundaries.
So you could push past the fake boundaries, basically.
Exactly, but it was not just pushing, it was really, really harsh from myself. Because
wow.
when I was a little younger, like a little boy, I was screaming, I was yelling until I get this maybe toy I've wanted.
Oh wow.
So my parents, my mother especially, was the one who worked the whole week, and my father at this time, when they divorced when I was 4, he had time through this time.
Yeah.
He doesn't get a job or only paid by hours,
Yeah.
so he had more time for us kids. And when my mother came home from work, she was tired. Of course, she was tired. She had 2 kids at home and had to do everything alone in a big house. So yes, her nerves, they were like tired. She hadn't the energy anymore to hold strict to the boundaries she said. So I was really harsh. I was yelling. I was screaming. I was pushing.
So you took advantage of that, right?
Exactly.
Okay.
And at some point she was like, "Okay, you get it."
So she gave up.
Exactly. She gave up, and my sister was in the opposite. Was always the person who was like, "Okay, my parents said this, so I follow through this, and I will get this what I want." In a brave way, in a
correct way.
In a correct way from the visit of my parents, right?
Yeah.
But I was like, no. I was like, no. I tested, and it worked. And the more it worked, the worse it was getting. It was
the more worse it
yeah.
got. Wow.
Yeah. Really.
Wow.
And my sister through the time was getting angry about me because I get the things I wanted and she's not.
You know what? I had the exact same with my sister. My sister did it more your way.
Oh. That's interesting.
That's
right?
really interesting, yeah. And for me this was also one of these big unfair things in life, because I observed that people that would do it your way in your childhood, your childhood's way, would get more out of life and in life and from others than the people that did it in a more just and fair way. And for me, it brought me to a point where I just gave up, and I was like, well, then I don't want to play any games out there, because what's the point in playing an unfair game when everyone is playing? When that's what I thought as a child. Now I know not everyone is playing shitty games, but when most people are playing shitty games and they gain more and they get more by playing this way, and I was like, I'm not playing those games. I don't want to be part of playing those games, and that's why I had no friends, man.
And in our world, then the game that you said right now was just a game from the game that our parents set, right?
Yes. Sorry, I just have to get my dog down so that she doesn't fuck up the sofa.
The dog just playing games.
Dog playing the games on us. She can come with us.
Yeah, of course. More clicks.
That's Farah. Farah is for the views. Farah is... Hello, girl. She's the cool hoodie girl. Yeah, so
Yes.
that's really interesting, man. Now seeing the opposite. We never talked about that.
Not really, no.
And
No.
still, and now, especially now, I think it's so cool to actually sit down together with a person that made it the other way.
Mm.
And still we come together because our topic that we have together is this huge boundary topic. One of the biggest learning fields for me is this boundary topics. Because I had no boundaries. I didn't know how to set boundaries for myself and follow through. I've had this huge empathy and I would let others shit on myself.
That was also a big mistake from me in my past. When I was in my friend group, the people pleaser,
Mm-hmm.
this empathy, like you said, and this garbage the other people just throw at me, just they'd be lighter in this moment, and I wasn't. I was like the.
You were carrying it around.
It was so heavy.
Oh wow.
It was crazy. It was getting so hard that I was trying to solve the problems of the relationship from my best friend.
What?
What the fuck?
What the
The
fuck?
girlfriend from him was just really a harsh and not social person. She was a bad person to him. I wouldn't say she was a bad person in general, but just to him, her behavior wasn't that good. And he was like, it was his first love, and was like,
Okay, yeah.
the pink
Rose
glasses
pink
on.
glasses.
Exactly, and I was trying to help him,
Mm.
but he not really acknowledged my help in this
He
situation.
didn't ask for it, maybe.
He asked for it,
Oh,
but
that's
he
interesting.
wasn't grateful for it.
Fucker. Fucker.
So at the end, I got messages through his phone from his girlfriend that I was the jerk.
The fuck, man.
So my energy was really like.
Wow, yeah, you
It
were
was really
sucked out,
away,
man.
and then I was getting depressed because I hadn't some energy left
Yeah.
for myself.
Yeah, you gave it for other people's problems.
Exactly. And
People pleasing.
exactly. And after this thing we talked about before, that I was a harsh or a rebellious kid to my parents, but on the other side, the biggest people pleaser, I was like, I'm asking myself right now, why?
What?
So
How does that
it
work?
doesn't make sense in
Yeah.
a
No,
way,
for me,
because
it makes sense, actually.
one way I was like, I want to do things
Your way.
exactly my way. So self-responsibility, like my willpower in this situation. But on the other way, I just wanted to be socialized, accepted.
Well, is
Social
it really
acceptance.
willpower or is it really testing the grounds and just taking advantage and getting things in a more easier way? Because out there in the outside world, if you would do this shitty game on me, you would fucking lose, man.
Yeah, true that. Yeah.
You would lose.
Yeah.
Because it made me so strong. If someone now comes at me and plays shitty emotional trapping games, they break down. Because now I am the rock that can't be moved by bullshit. And that's why I'm like, yeah, just try to play your shitty game, but it's not gonna work on me. And if you're trying to get something from me out of that way, I'm gonna slap you.
Mm.
Not really hurt you in a physical way. It's just I'm gonna mirror your bullshit right back at your face. And that's scary for people that still at this age or later at the age when they are actually adult, should be adult.
Should be.
Should
on,
be
on, the,
adult.
on the paper they are
Yeah,
adults,
yeah.
but not in the
Because on the
behavior.
paper the age says they are adult now. No, it's not the age that makes us adult. It's more the behavior that makes us adult. Yeah, but I have another good question for you, if you're open to it.
Yes, of course.
Because I think that's now a really good thing. It's the third question here.
Just
Don't read
looking
my
at the
questions.
time.
Okay, I have no clue. When did we start, man?
I don't know.
Okay, so what do you think drives people like us to keep pushing past our limits even when we know it's costing us?
Can you ask again?
What do you think drives people like us to keep pushing past our limits even when we know it's costing us? Also warum haben wir so oft über unsere Grenzen gehen lassen und warum sind wir drüber gegangen, obwohl wir wissen, es kostet uns eigentlich nur. Es ist dann eine Erkenntnisfrage.
Phew, I would say.
It's a crazy question, by the way.
Yeah, of course. I would say it's like a combination of not knowing and belief.
Mm.
Because when you don't know what's good for yourself,
Mhm.
or you don't know how it feels to give love to yourself, then you don't know,
Oh wow.
obviously,
Yeah.
because then you search in the outside
Yeah.
for the attention and for the love.
Yeah.
And on the other side, the belief, because when you don't have the experience already,
Yeah. Okay.
then you still believe that it can't happen, or that it shouldn't happen this way, that it's like to going right now.
Yeah.
So I would say it's a combination of unknowing and belief.
Let's leave it like that as a short question. I just want to add one word that came to my mind when I wrote down this question. It's naivete.
Yeah.
It's it's basically being foolish because we didn't know better. We didn't know better, so we thought or we hoped we would gain or get something out of it, and that's why we pushed past our limits even though we knew it would cost us something. We hoped that we would gain something out of it, but that's basically just naivete, and I had a lot of those moments.
Yes.
But here I have another question. Um, how did it feel the first time you said no and actually meant it? And what changed inside you afterward?
I'm not sure I remember the first time,
The
but
first time you really meant it. You said it and you meant it. For me, that's like a big breaking point in life. Do you have one? A story like that?
yeah, I think I already told it in one of our last podcasts. It was the time when I spoke to my best friend in the past that he shouldn't or can't tell me some names anymore
Ah, yeah.
that I don't like. And
Yeah.
this was like, okay, I really stood up for myself.
Cool.
And it felt, for of course, really new in this situation, really, first of all, uncomfortable. But I was like, okay, now I'm talking through my heart to the person in front of me. I stood up for myself. I said yes to myself. And this is also a move of self-love in this situation.
Yeah.
Not only a yes, it's an act of self-love. And through this time, I read near to never had situations for self-love, but after psychiatry, this conversation happened where I stood up for myself, and there started the time of self-love for me. Yeah.
So what changed inside you afterward? After having this first experience?
I started to really saw my real self, my real aspects of my identity at this time. Because I said before, this was the time I was just copying my best friends. And through this yes to myself, through this conversation, through this time, I set my first boundaries intentional. I just realized, okay, this was a yes to myself. So, okay, who is myself? And then I just realized step by step. I'm still learning. I'm still shifting my identity because I grew up since then, right now. But then I shifted like in 2 months. Really did a level up,
Cool.
and this was, yeah, it was. I would say it was the first one of the first step back to my true self.
Beautiful, man. Wow.
Yes,
Thanks for sharing.
of course, you're welcome. So I would say I ask you the last question.
Yeah.
So which one I take? What did burnout teach you about your boundaries?
Wow. that's a good ending question. What did the burnout teach me about my boundaries? Well, that I had no boundaries.
First of all,
That I had
obviously
not only weak boundaries, but I had no boundaries. I wasn't aware about boundaries at all, about my own, because I never got the awareness about my boundaries. I never defined them, and most and foremost, the most important part, I never learned how to communicate boundaries in a healthy way.
Mm.
That's what I learned through. That's what the burnout teach me about boundaries. And even though it taught me the knowledge, what I just shared, to really learn and integrate to do these steps, took me 10 more years.
It's crazy, yeah.
And still
A
I'm
decade,
learning
man.
in this. It's first of all, the first thing that it teach me was I have to be aware what is okay and what is not okay for me
How you get aware what is
by
okay?
by experiencing life.
Any other
Yeah,
tactics?
yeah. I'd say that the easiest tactic nowadays is working with the boundary book. So that's really
That's a good way.
that's a good way. I'd say that's the most efficient way now, because we've really studied the boundary topic now. We still are studying the boundary topic, and we will for the rest of our life.
Bro, we're still on the
At the beginning.
oppervlakte, wat heet oppervlakte?
Yeah, at the surface.
At the surface, we're still there. There's this just the peak of the iceberg. There's so much more
The
in
fuck.
the ground under there in this
The
topic,
fuck.
and we're still learning. But for the beginning, like you said, the boundary book is one of the best tools you can start with. Link down in the description.
Yes. So, yes, I'd say, I mean, now I'm talking about my burnout experience 12 years ago. And I've had another little burnout experience, but it wasn't as deep and profound as my first one. Because when I had my second burnout experience, I already knew what it was feeling like, what I was going through, and I knew how to bounce back even faster and more efficiently. Because I was never the person that wanted to stay in this shitty hole for a long period. Because I knew, man, I'm self-dependent. It's on myself. So if you have a burnout, or you've experienced a burnout, or you're running towards a burnout, let me ask you and everyone here the question: when you are at this point, is it really your desire to stay there? Do you really want to stay at this point? Or would you rather evolve and get past this situation? And to get past the situation and evolve out of this, what needs to happen? What is really necessary? What boundaries haven't you become aware about? Where didn't you define them already? And why didn't you communicate them? And if you got this why, what stops you from communicating? Now that was a lot of questions, obviously.
I have also a question
Yeah.
for you. What would you say when the person who's with us are in a situation like this, and answer your question with, yes, I wanted to evolve, but I don't know how.
Oh, wow.
I have these patterns, these behavior patterns that I was running for years now, and I can't get out of it. What would you give them as an advice on their way that they can maybe take one step forward to evolve right now? Because when you have these behavior patterns, these thought patterns, it's really hard to get out of these. I also talk from my own experience. It's really hard to get out of this by yourself.
Yeah.
Right?
Wow.
What would you say to them?
Okay, so first question I would ask you in that situation is, become aware if you want to solve this problem alone, or if you are ready to actually get help. Because I was one of these idiots that wanted to do it alone at first. I was like, oh, I will get through this alone, because then I know that I am strong. I really wanted to prove myself and everyone out there, because that was my external motivation, that I can do it. And when I can do it, then you can do it too. So here's the big plus point for everyone that wants to do it himself. It's possible. It just takes so much more time. It just takes so much more effort. And my advice now, speaking from my heart, from where I stand right now, I cannot go back and change it. it needed to be that way. It needed to happen like this. But my advice from the point where I'm right at now, I'd rather save that time and look at all the years in front of me that I can have a good time by getting help, by getting support, rather than having to learn how to get out of this shit of myself. Because if you don't have the time, or your time's running up, whatever that means, if you're in a shitty situation and place, do you really want to spend the next 1, 2, maybe 3, 4, 5 years to learn how to shift it all yourself?
And that's a small amount of time.
That's
There's people out there, they
doing
in
it
their
for their
thoughts,
life, man.
patterns, and behavior patterns through decades,
Yes,
man.
yes, and it can really go into a very shitty place until we lose complete hope and motivation to do
Yes.
anything at all.
The
That's
human
why
drives.
That's why I'm telling you, there's opportunity costs to everything. That's what I learned later in my life in sales training. Yes, there's opportunity costs. So are you ready to take these opportunity costs of wasting, it's not wasting because obviously you're learning something, but of spending that much time in your life, depending on how motivated and how crazy your drive is to get through it, to do it alone? Or would you rather now get the support, get the help, and set a right foundation, reprogram your subconscious mind, reprogram your paradigms, really look at and reflect all those patterns and work with an expert in this field that can help you go through this in days, weeks, months, but then you're done and your whole life has changed? Now that's what I would choose today.
Wow.
That's what I choose today. That's what I do today. Now the thing is, I've learned it all. Now I am one of those experts. You don't have to work with me. It's just, are you worth enough? Is your life, your time, your energy worth enough
For yourself.
for yourself? Or do you value it enough so that you are worth it to yourself? That's the question I would give to you. And then get help, get support, and if you don't know where to start, get our boundary book. Seriously, get it. Because this really sets the whole foundation. And you don't have to learn it all fresh. We put our knowledge all down. You can work through the foundation, and then you can work day by day from situation to situation, and you can do it by yourself. And if you don't want to do it by yourself, join our community, because our book comes with a community, and that's how we can basically guarantee you 80 to 90% that you will have success, that you can change, that you can save yourself this time or get faster out of a burnout if you are experiencing it now, because you are not alone. And we gathered a lot of crazy cool experts in our community already that are ready to help you and that share their insights, their journey with you as well. And I do too, and he does too. The thing is, we are all on the way. We are all on the journey. Nobody's perfect. It's not about perfection. It's about wholeness. And in our community, you can at least experience that we are not we don't have this culture of, oh, look at us, I am here and you are here. No. In our community, we are eye to eye. And you see, I am on the way, and you see how I do it when I have something, because I share this stuff, and he shares how he does it. We share how we do it, and you can learn from this. You're not alone, and then you have a boundary body that really holds you accountable, and that's how you are successfully getting out of these shitty situations without being alone. You can also go to a psychiatrist or psychologist or whatever. Just, do you value your time, energy, and money, and love, and relationship, and all the things that come with living on with weak boundaries? Do you value yourself enough to actually do it easier?
Wow.
Fuck,
Whoa.
man.
I would say that's a great finisher.
Yeah, that's an end.
That's
man.
a really great finisher. So, for the person who's with us, for you, reflect on all these questions that he said. Reflect, journal about it, journal about how's your life going on right now. Journal about it. Ask yourself, okay, where do I have weak boundaries? Where can I improve my boundaries? Where I have some patterns or some behaviors where I can improve or break them down with boundaries. Just journal about it. Ask yourself and just improve them a little bit, step by step, every day. And if you want a tool that speed this process a little bit up and set the foundation, then buy the boundary book. The
Yes.
link is in the comment, and
Yes.
join our community. Find a boundary buddy and improve together, because together it works so much better. It works so much better because the connection, it doesn't matter with who in this situation, but the connection from people to people, from person to person, is so important, and you grow so much faster and on a deeper level, from my experience.
Yeah.
So for this episode, I would say
That's the end.
that's the end.
That's the end.
So we hear us the next time by the Boundary Talk.
I also want to say one last thing. If something of this here resonated with you, or you know a person that needs to hear this story, or any of our golden nuggets, share it. Because sharing is caring. And we know we can learn from your stories as well. So if you have a story to tell, how you've maneuvered yourself out of a burnout, this story can help someone else too. So please share your story, not only for us and with us, but for everyone out there that can learn together with you. So share it, give us a like, give us a follow. We're really looking forward to growing together with you. Maybe see you in the community soon, who knows. Until then, ciao for now.
Ciao for now.